your potential customers' ears and eyes.
Chip Flory here, inviting you to join the conversation as we tackle the current issues of agriculture every weekday morning at 10:06 on the Talk of Central Illinois, News Talk WTIM. I host AgriTalk, the nation's longest-running interview show dedicated to discussing agriculture issues with the newsmakers and include you in the conversation via our toll-free number. We're here weekdays mornings at 10:06. We are AgriTalk.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Find out about all the products and services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
It's winter, cold winds, snow, all the stuff you as a mature adult don't want to mess with. Time to get on the waiting list at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, where they're encouraging independence and enriching lives. Find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our WTIM morning show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. Joining me now is coordinator of the Illinois Recreational Access Program, and his name is Shane Sinclair. Shane, good morning to you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on. And this is a first time around here on the WTIM morning show. So there is a lot to get into and a lot of questions I have personally and that I would like to almost throw to you here now. The Illinois Recreational Access Program, what is the program as a whole? And if you could just kind of explain the behind the scenes and the details of this program.
Yeah. The Illinois Recreational Access Program, or IRAP, as I call it for short, is a federally funded program through the Farm Bill that is supported by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources that is aimed at, providing landowners native habitat conservation assistance, and then also supplying local outdoorsmen less competitive places to recreate here locally.
So with that, because there is plenty of public land as well, when it comes to a homeowner or a landowner willing or wanting to have somebody come out and provide those services or be a part of that, what are some of those things that land would be offered up to, and who would be able to utilize it?
Yeah, so any landowners that have roughly 40 acres of land or a farm in the area, that has a decent amount of edge of agricultural field, so going into timber, prairie, so on, that's got about 40 acres in total, or plus or minus, but could receive a monetary lease payment, which turns into a 4-year lease paid out annually by the state. That is calculated by the number of acres and hunting opportunities that you, the landowner, really choose to enroll. It's more of a what you want to enroll your land into, rather than being open as a public park would be. So you have more selective choice on what you would want your farm to really be involved in this program. So you could choose spring turkey hunting, sport fishing, if you've got, a pond or a river going through your property, squirrel or deer hunting, waterfowl, upland game, any of the state open seasons really are yours to choose from. And you can pick one, all or any combination of those different seasons. And the monetary lease payment that's paid annually is just one benefit of the program. You also receive some conservation assistance, on how to manage the whole edge of field aspect of the farm. 10-year management plans are provided by the program, which really lay out in detail what the farm has on it as far as quality of trees, quality of the prairie, and the best management practices that you would really want to utilize in order to make the farm reach its most highest potential. So things like invasive brush management, honeysuckle, autumn olive, multiflora rose removal, timber stand improvement of thinning the less desirable trees, or even something like prescribed fire, are probably things that will be outlined in a 10-year management plan. And then the program wants to help you actually get those implemented and on the ground by offering a cost share assistance aspect of the program that IRAP can provide. So, that shared cost of getting any of those completed is majority taken up by the program, and then the landowner pays the remainder.
Okay.
There's many different ways that you can get those types of things actually on the ground on your farm.
And with that, how does the IDNR in association or with the IRAP program, how do you kind of vet a parcel of land? Do you have to go personally to it to kind of see what is available? Or are we using satellite imagery? How does that kind of work after the person has said, hey, in this regard, I'd like to submit 40 or so acres of land to this? How do you vet that land, and how do you start that process with them?
Yeah, so as the coordinator, I spend a lot of time in the field talking with landowners. I usually try and make a piece of contact with them either by email or phone. Plenty of people just reach out to the office, say, hey, I've heard about the program and how I can benefit from it. Can you schedule time to come out here and look at it and see if I'm a good fit? And so I generally make appointments with landowners, all across the state. My primary operating region is the southern half of the state. So most lands that are south of Interstate 72, I like to say, are kind of my jurisdiction. But yeah, I'd come out, I'd look at the property, kind of give my initial thoughts, and then talk with the landowner on what types of opportunities they'd like to offer up to the state, and how, what the lease terms would look like and how we can go from there.
I've got to say, I'm a little jealous. That sounds like a great time to me, just being able to go to the different pieces of land, kind of inspect them in your own way, and also kind of put that together as a plan. So we've talked about 4-year lease programs, 10-year management programs, and we talked about the benefit to the landowners themselves. Shane, can you share with me the benefit to the public and what that really does entail?
Yeah, so, the public is getting a private, less competitive, less pressured place to go hunt and fish. There's fantastic opportunity for say, like youth or first time hunters, or those that are wanting to learn how to, say turkey hunt for the first time. If they've never been able to experience a turkey hunt, that can be kind of a daunting experience to learn how to do that on public property. So really just being able to know that you're going to be the only person on this farm, have your map, have your outline, everything given to you by the state, have some confidence that there's going to be that game animal on the farm, and learn how to do it and learn how to take advantage of that, and maybe create a new skill for yourself. So it gets you outdoors, and it's a great way to do it.
And you mentioned something there that kind of piqued my interest, and not only just the fact of loving to get outdoors. I do it just a little differently with the camping and some other things like that. Not the biggest hunter or fisher, but you mentioned mapping and maps that are available. Is that something that the state comes in and actually does plot out, map out, or is that something that the landowner helps in that process of?
So yeah, if I've got a landowner and a parcel of land that I'm going to enroll into the program, then I will map up, a parcel boundary map, and any access trails that are through there, any, structures that may be within the parcel. I'll get a map made, and then it is generated and supplied to whoever draws the property. You get a windshield card, which is basically your permission slip to get into this property. And, within that, your windshield card, you create a log, and there's a survey at the end that is required of hunters to submit, so that we can get some good data from how these hunts and, fishing experiences are going. And the map is given to them so that, the hunters have some confidence that they, know what they're walking into for the first time. So yeah, maps are created for every part.
Shane, I've got to say that the more I sit behind this microphone, the more I wish I might be out there doing something along these lines here. This sounds fantastic. And you mentioned something there as well that also comes to mind is, okay, if we're keeping these logs, we're keeping track of the animals that are being hunted and the land itself. How does it help kind of in the conservation aspect of hunting, fishing, and the recreational activities being offered?
Yeah. So any wildlife, has a carrying capacity within its ecosystem. So What this is doing is trying to make sure that there's healthier, more robust populations of wildlife on the areas that we are implementing those best management practices. Like I said, the invasive brush management, timber stand improvement, prescribed fire, all of those things benefit the environment at large. And habitat in this region is often really held within those hypersensitive riparian areas or your waterways and river systems. And those best management practices help with water quality concerns and soil stability. So getting in this program, getting some of these practices put on the ground, not only is benefiting the wildlife, but it's benefiting, us as water consumers and, ones that are invested in the parcels of land that we have and the quality of it. Everything is kind of heightened. Rising tide kind of raises all ships when you start putting habitat onto the ground. So it's certainly rewarding to watch it go from start to finish.
Shane, I can only imagine how rewarding that really is to be a part of that process from start to finish, and including mapping and also so much other things. And thank you so much for sharing here in this first portion of our WTIM morning show. Shane will come back around in just a few moments with more of it. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and we are speaking with Shane Sinclair, Illinois Recreational Access Program Coordinator, here on the WTIM morning show.
Your information station, WTIM.
New year, new job. Join the great team at the Assumption Community Child Care Center, opening soon. This is Shawless Nagel, Executive Director of Kimmer Village, Inc. We are hiring teachers for our center. College credits, including specific hours in child care or child development, or a CDA certification required. Visit our website, kimmervillage.org/employment to submit an application. These are full-time positions and include great benefits. 217-226-2110 for more information.
Farmers deserve nothing less than the best to keep their operations growing. We've believed that since opening our doors over 40 years ago. At AgroLiquid, our team of experts work with you to formulate a nutrition program that connects your fertilizer needs with your cropping goals, merging agronomy with economics on your farm. Get solid agronomic advice and positive results that'll make you a return on your fertilizer investment. Find your crop nutrition expert at agroliquid.com.
Hi everyone, Nicole Patrick here, your new local country financial representative at 917 West Bresser in Taylorville. I'm proud to recognize the Tornado student athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. During Tornado sports broadcasts this school year, WTIM announcers will select a player at the end of each game who will receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game. Good luck to all the teams this season, and go Tornadoes!
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, are proud to continue their long-standing sponsorship of honoring Taylorville High School Students of the Month on WTIM's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online, and on WMKR Genuine Country 94.3.
My name is Riley Whitlow, the Junior Student of the Month at Taylorville High School. My parents are Robert and Helen Graham. I do CACC, and I'm also a part of the Taylorville Explorer program with the Taylorville Police Department. I love to play with my dog and my cats. I love to spend time with my friends and my family, and I also love working at my job. I like to work out, and one day I hopefully want to join the Navy.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, salutes these great Taylorville High School students on this honor and wish them the best in their future. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
COVID, flu, RSV, and shingles vaccines are free of charge at the Christian County Health Department. Both high-dose and regular-dose flu vaccines are available. Make your appointment by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Here's Dr. Pavi Gill from Springfield Clinic, Taylorville.
Lifestyle medicine is about motivating you to improve your quality of life by changing habits and behaviors.
Find out more by clicking Dr. Gill's icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Back around with the WTIM morning show, joined now by Shane Sinclair, Illinois Recreational Access Program Coordinator on the WTIM morning show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. Shane is telling us all about the Illinois Recreational Access Program, or IRAP for short. And Shane, I'd like to go back around and double down on why this is so important, not only to landowners themselves, but the public as a whole.
Yeah. So, kind of before we took a break there, I kind of was talking about the, just overall environmental benefits that, are kind of a unintended benefit, so to speak, on once, landowners and hunters and recreationalists kind of come together and put some conservation practices on the ground. And we're really trying to follow a plan. There's a lot of need to get conservation practices on the ground. So following a plan and having a plan is very important. So all landowners that enroll into this program get a professionally written 10-year management plan. Like I said, that does outline those best management practices that I mentioned before, things like brush management or herbaceous weed control, timber stand improvement, prescribed fire. And it not only has those in it, but it kind of gives you a guideline as to when in the process along a 10-year time frame you should be putting those into implementation. So it will have a bracket of years 0 to 3. These are the types of things you should be considering putting on the ground. Years 4 and 6, maybe go through here. And then once we get closer to the end, it's more of a reevaluation on how did the things that you put on the ground, how they've been receptive, what's the next step for your secondary 10-year lease or 10-year management plan. So IRAP wants to get these plans into your hand and then help you get them implemented over that 10-year period. So the lease is only 4 years, but we want to get a 10-year plan in your hands. And if you like how things have kind of started during that first 4 years, we hope you'd re-enroll and make a secondary 4-year lease. So it's intended to be a long-term relationship.
And what I like about it too is it allows for the landowner to still remain flexible while also getting the exact benefits of it that they are looking for, and allowing for that kind of relationship to be able to build. And I can imagine it's a pretty great person to be able to do it. And with yourself, Shane, I'd like to go back to the seasons of choice and how the person is able to actually pick the exact plan in which they'd like to have.
Yeah, so the calendar year, or the hunting year, really pretty much starts in the spring, and the first main hunting season that comes around is spring turkey hunting. IRAP chooses to only have the youth season and then third and fourth season, and these seasons 1 through 5 plus the youth season are predetermined by the state. They're outlined in the hunting digest that is produced every year. So the youth third and fourth seasons could be something that you just choose one of, you choose 2 of, or you put all 3 for your farm, if your farm is one that is conducive to good turkey habitat, or ones that do have turkeys on the premise or nearby. So you can choose 1 or 3 of those. Sport fishing, if you've got a pond or a lake or a river that does have good access to fishing, that's something that we want to also highlight as well, is that we're getting good simple access to these places as well. Squirrel season goes until the fall hunting seasons kick in, which are predominantly your deer hunting, which has youth season involved in that one as well as archery seasons. And the archery seasons can be broken up into one of 3 different blocks of time. So we call it first, second, and third archery season, where there's a 2-week block that you can participate in. So if you're somebody that doesn't do much archery hunting, or just doesn't do any hunting at all in the early parts of October, but you wouldn't mind if somebody that wanted to go learn how to do it, or an 8-year-old girl to go out there and try and get her first deer or something during youth season, if that's something that you wouldn't mind sacrificing, that's a perfect fit for your farm then. So you can pick and choose which one of these types of hunting seasons really fits your schedule, fits what you aren't doing on your farm, and try and make sure that somebody else in your local community can take advantage and add that to their set of experiences with the outdoors.
And Shane, with just under a minute to go, I'd love to know, you mentioned the word rewarding earlier. Can you tell me here just a little bit about why it's so rewarding for you in this position and what it means to you to be able to do this in 52 counties that you are a part of?
Yeah, I've got a pretty wide range that I oversee in the state, but the rewarding part really comes from, a couple different angles. One, the landowners are generally so appreciative of getting something accomplished on their farm that they don't have the means or the equipment or the know-how. And then the other side of it comes from seeing the successful hunts, whether they did or didn't harvest anything, or they did or didn't, get a fish. Seeing the participants or the hunters and fishermen have a great time. That's the pinnacle of reward right there.
There you go. Well, Shane, thank you so much for joining us here on the WTIM Morning Show. I'd love to have you back around to learn more all about this. Again, Shane Sinclair with the Illinois Recreational Access Program. He is the coordinator and has got a whole lot on his hands. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. It is another Trump bombshell igniting discussion and debate around the world. President Trump proposes moving the Palestinians out of the Gaza Strip so the land can be cleaned up from the ravages of war and then redeveloped. Iran's currency has plunged to a record low against the U.S. dollar after the president restarted his maximum pressure campaign against Iran over its nuclear program. In its drive to improve government oversight and accountability, the Trump administration is pulling almost all USAID workers off the job and out of the field worldwide. Going forward, the agency's work may be taken up by the State Department. The Senate confirms Pam Bondi as Attorney General. Pennsylvania's John Fetterman, the lone Democrat to join the Republicans in confirming Bondi, the former Florida